This video is the complete Galaxy's Edge experience, combining all of my trips and guides into one massive walkthrough. You can watch it straight through, or skip to the chapter you want. Here's where the fun begins. May the Force be with you. Galaxy's Edge is a Star Wars fan's dream, where you can experience a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away like few other places can. However, like R2-D2 on a mission to find Obi-Wan Kenobi, I traveled to Batuu on a mission of my own to experience everything Galaxy's Edge has to offer in just one day. My bucket list includes 12 experiences, and I can't return home unless I finish the list.
Let's say we go to Galaxy's Edge.
First, I met up with my friend John, who let me borrow some of the equipment I needed for this trip. Can we spam the comments? I love you, John! He also got me some amazing gifts for my game room / lightsaber studio. I packed my bags, and it was time to go to the airport. One thing I get really excited about is getting an airport coffee. If there's one thing I'm looking forward to on this trip, it's going to Galaxy's Edge and having a good time and relaxing. If there's two things, it's salacious. You'll understand later. I've said too much. I enjoy flying so much, especially when I'm going to a destination like Galaxy's Edge. I grabbed my favorite snack and a brand new game, and off we went. We made it to Florida and got ready, but first, we had to make 2 pit stops. First, we stopped in Epcot, and we had to say hello to Mario in the brand new Epic Universe at Universal Studios. If I was gonna go to Galaxy's Edge, it was gonna be in style.
Yeah, I could get used to that.
And by the way, it's not a trip to Galaxy's Edge unless you're listening to Samuel Kim on the way in. If I was gonna get to all 12 challenges in one day at Galaxy's Edge, I was gonna have to have a tight schedule. The park opened at 9 o'clock, and we had a Droid Depot appointment at 10, so we rushed over to pilot the famous Millennium Falcon at Smuggler's Run. After saying hi to Hondo Ohnaka and Chewie, it was time to board. I had an absolute blast. I can't wait to come back and try the updated version of this with the Mandalorian and Grogu. I must look like a guy who can just press glowing buttons. I've only ever been the engineer. Apparently I can only press green blinking buttons. It's fine, I'm really good at it. So we just got off Smuggler's Run. We got into the park at 9:05, we got on, it's 9:55. We went through the entire thing, the ride, clutch timing. Now, we're off to build a droid. I was pleasantly surprised how awesome the Droid Depot experience was. We had several options to choose from, including the R2 and R5 style astromechs, as well as the one that looks like Chopper from Rebels. Ultimately, we went with a BB-8 style droid, and we named it BB-4. We even got to see it interact with other droids at Batuu. Okay, so this next task is not actually a part of Galaxy's Edge, but come on. Come on. The world-famous Star Tours is just outside Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios. It was 10:27, and we had to book it to get a ride in before our 11 o'clock reservation at Oga's Cantina. Star Tours never gets old. It completely authentically feels like Star Wars, and it helps that they're always updating it with new characters and missions. I grabbed my 3D glasses, and it was go time. Oga's Cantina is a pretty immersive, mostly standing room only Star Wars hangout with a few rules that fit my day perfectly. Rule 1 is there's a 45-minute limit, so this is just finger foods, really. Rule 2 is there's a 2-drink limit, and since I just wanted a fancy mocktail, mission accomplished.
Anyway, here is the
Is it good? Oh, it's delicious. Awesome. So good. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden I started coughing. What a noob. Tell me that's not the coolest bubble tea you've ever seen, and I'll call you a lying scoundrel. This was the most delicious bread I've had in my entire life. And this is me fanboying hard over a Luke Skywalker lightsaber tap handle. Why don't they call them bursting Boba Fett? Then I was off to start my search for the 3 limited edition Disney exclusive Coca-Colas featuring Star Wars characters. But first, blue milk time. Hello, how are you? Can we just get 1 blue milk, please? Remember the thing I said about boba? Apparently they already thought about it. So I guess they don't have the special Coke in Galaxy's Edge, but I've heard they have it right outside, so we're gonna check it out. Do you guys have the character Cokes for Star Wars? Well, we'll take one of each. It's the most expensive Coke I ever bought. Definitely the most expensive Coke I'm never gonna drink, but it's all good. It's worth it. Too closer to our goal of collecting them all. Now, off to Galaxy's Edge to film some Guess the Character. I filmed a few Guess the Star Wars Character shorts under the Millennium Falcon and got a little thirsty. Time for a green milk run. Most people don't like the green milk. I'm not most people. I don't see what the fuss is about. I think the green milk is just fine. Alright folks, we gotta visit my favorite place in Galaxy's Edge, Dok-Ondar's. I'm just gonna look at the lightsabers though. I don't need another lightsaber. I'm not gonna buy one, no. My mind is made up. I am not buying another lightsaber. I bought a lightsaber. It was inevitable. Dok-Ondar's Den of Antiquities is one of my favorite parts of Galaxy's Edge, which is no surprise, seeing how many different lightsabers there are to choose from. But it's not just lightsabers. It's clothing, accessories, and some of the coolest Star Wars merch around. Seriously, I could spend all day there, plus a lot of money. Next, I was off to eat some lunch at Docking Bay 7. My favorite memory from my last trip here was eating while staring at the Millennium Falcon and daydreaming about which lightsaber I wanted to get at Doc's. I got some Batuan beef, naturally finished my daughter's Tip Yip Youngling meal, and tried to set a good example by eating a vegetable. This one's for you, Ryan Trahan. After a quick ledge selfie with the Millennium Falcon, it was off to Black Spire Outpost Marketplace to shop and see if my forbidden friend, Salacious Crumb, was there. Black Spire Outpost is a cosplayer's dream, and they have the best selection of lovable, cuddly Star Wars creatures and stuffed animals, including Nix from Star Wars Outlaws. And then, I saw him. Someone who could simultaneously bring so much joy and disgust to my household. There's one thing my wife made me promise that we couldn't get while we're here and bring home. I'm about to break that promise. The man, the myth, the Kowakian monkey lizard, Salacious B. Crumb. More like Kowakian monkey legend, am I right? Oh please, take a picture, it'll last longer. I had to stop for one of my favorite beverages, a cold brew calf, and some blue popcorn. Then we had a few minutes before we could use our lightning lane pass on Rise of the Resistance. So we sat down to check out my new prized possession I had picked up at Dok-Ondar's, my Anakin Padawan lightsaber. What I'm about to show you might be disturbing to some audiences. I know. Terrifying. So we booked it back to Doc's and exchanged our minimally damaged hilt for a new one. Building my own lightsaber is one of the coolest experiences of my life. Now I didn't build a Savi's Workshop lightsaber this trip, but last year I did, and here's a quick look. You can choose from 4 and sometimes 5 different hilt options, which I cover in full in that video over there. I thought about mine for months. I even made up a character named Yorl, who is much like Baylan Skoll, a former Jedi who isn't necessarily on either side of the conflict, but is a former Jedi and now collects relics, including famous lightsabers. Yorl is my last name Leroy backwards. What? We saw Rey and ran to the Rise of the Resistance, which is peak Disney Imagineering when it comes to rides, and something every Star Wars fan should make a priority when they go to Galaxy's Edge. Seriously, there's nothing like that first time you see the Stormtroopers on the First Order Star Destroyer. The premise is you're on a mission with familiar Resistance heroes when your ship is captured by the First Order. You encounter several First Order foes, including Kylo Ren, before escaping with the help of Finn on a wild ride. Woo! Rise of the Resistance, best ride ever. Best ride ever. It was almost time to go, so we started asking every pop stand in sight about the third and final Coke that we were missing, which featured Chewbacca. I had no luck. While filming a few more shorts near a golden R2-D2 and BB-8, we decided to go to one last merch store. So I've been looking all day for the Chewbacca Coke Zero. No one has it. They said it's like 1 per case. However, you keep digging, and you will find it. Let's go, Chewy Roar. I've been digging like a lunatic all day through any Coke case I could find, and I got it. Who's the sucker now? While roaming Hollywood Boulevard, I began to reflect on how thankful I was to be able to go on this trip with my daughter and spend this time together. It also made me think about how much time we all spend buried in our phones instead of enjoying each other's company. So maybe you'll think of this video the next time you go to doom scroll, or pop in a Star Wars movie instead. All I know is there was only one thing left that I needed to do. Planning your first trip to Galaxy's Edge can be overwhelming. What ride do I experience first? Do I need to pre-book an appointment to make my own lightsaber? What food options do I have? Take it from someone who was in your shoes 15 months ago. Here's 10 things you need to know before your first trip to Galaxy's Edge. You can experience all of Galaxy's Edge in half a day, especially if you plan. Listen, I'm a lifelong Star Wars fan, and before my first trip, I booked an entire day to spend at Galaxy's Edge. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. You certainly can stretch out your time and really just enjoy all of the environment around you. However, you don't need to do that. If you plan things out, you can see all there is to see and experience in Galaxy's Edge in about a half a day. Most experiences are timed, and there's no major dining experiences. So you can either spend the first half of the day there and get there right in the morning, or even plan to get there a little bit later on and spend the evening roaming Batuu. My preference would be to get there as soon as Hollywood Studios opens, because I think you can really maximize your time that way. Which leads to my second point. Have a plan or a schedule going into your day. Here's a little bit of my sample schedule. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think you should prioritize. Now, everyone prioritizes things differently. Maybe you care more about making a lightsaber, or maybe you don't care about that and you want to get on the Rise of the Resistance. My first trip, I was not leaving Florida until I got on Rise of the Resistance. You can also pick a handful of things that you really want to experience, book those, or at least pencil in time slots for them, and build your day around those, and then do all the other things in between. One great thing about Galaxy's Edge is everything is within walking distance, and it's pretty close. In Walt Disney World, at the front of Batuu is Rise of the Resistance, and at the very back is the Millennium Falcon. So you can really get everywhere that you need to go, really within just a few moments. And this is one that I would really stress big time. Buy a lightning lane, aka Fast Pass for some of you old school Disney fans, for Rise of the Resistance. Guys, this ride is off the charts. It's maybe my favorite ride of all time. It's high tech, it's kind of next gen. It feels like Star Wars. It's the most Star Wars feeling that you get in all of Galaxy's Edge. On Rise of the Resistance, you get caught up in the struggle between the Resistance and the First Order. And during your time there, the First Order captures your shuttle. It's actually pretty wild. I can't believe how immersed I was and how really in character every single cast member was. 2 tips when you have a First Order officer walking your way. Don't let them see your phone, aka your data pad. And 2, keep the laughing to a minimum. Unless you want to draw attention, then laugh like crazy. My first time in line there were these 2 younger girls that were standing in our group, and they just couldn't hold in the laughter, and they let it out, and this cast member dressed as a First Order officer comes over stone-faced and says, "What's so funny?" It was amazing. I paid $22 for my lightning lane. You can book this up to 3 days in advance if you're staying off the property. If you're staying in a Disney hotel, you can book up to 7 days in advance. For example, I went on August 21st. I was able to book August 16th because it landed on a weekend, I believe. The ride has a pretty long average wait time, and lightning lanes on average sell out by about 12:43 every day. Now, this ride with its technology breaks down quite a bit. It's kind of the first of its kind at Disney. There's another channel I follow that I love called DFB, and they said the Rise of the Resistance was down something like 95 days total last year. That's crazy. The average wait time for the ride is 60 to 80 minutes. When I went in 2024, it did break down, and factoring that in, it was about an hour delay. It was a 3-hour wait before I got on. The ride itself is about 18 minutes long, so you truly get your money's worth. Speaking of rides, Smuggler's Run single rider lane is an absolute cheat code. Smuggler's Run puts you on the Millennium Falcon, which is every Star Wars fan's dream, am I right? As a part of Hondo Inaka's hired crew, you've got to smuggle some cargo to some kind of suspicious people. Now the average wait for this one is only 25 to 30 minutes currently, and it's a 5-minute ride. But when I went in the single rider lane, and I got on twice within a matter of minutes, no problem. In 2026, to commemorate the new Mandalorian and Grogu movie, there's going to be a new mission starring Din Djarin and Grogu as they chase elusive of Imperial officers. You'll experience sites such as Tatooine, Cloud City, and the Death Star wreckage. Now the Lightning Lane on average costs between $18 and $28 for this, but I've got 3 strategies that I think you could take for this. Strategy number 1, you can get your Lightning Lane pass. Boring. Number 2, and this is what I did this year, get to the park immediately upon open. Actually, get there before they open. I got there about 8:40 and got in line, and I didn't have early access, but they still let me and my daughter in. And it was about 8:50 or so by the time we got into Hollywood Studios. So we booked it for the back left corner. It was wild. We got there, got right in line at 9 o'clock, got on the ride, and we were off of it by 9:57, which was perfect because we had a Droid Depot appointment right at 10 o'clock. So I think that's a great strategy. Number 3, go single lane, even if you do have a party. The drawback is you may not be able to go on the Falcon with your party, but a lot of times they need at least 2 people, sometimes 3. So if you do have a party, especially if it's just yourself and one other person, you'll probably get on together. The ride seats 6, and you all have roles. 2 play the role of pilots, which fly the Falcon, of course. The Han and Chewie, if you will. 2 are the gunners, basically shoot everything in sight. And then 2 are the engineers. You are putting out all the fires on the ship. You are hitting these glowing buttons as fast as you possibly can, and that helps you to get a higher score as a team. So you don't need to book that one. However, I would absolutely book this next one. Pre-book your appointment to Savi's workshop to build your own lightsaber as early as you can. Seriously, guys, make sure you do this one. Look how cool they are. Are you kidding me? There are few experiences that I think are cooler than saying you built your very own custom lightsaber. Yeah, I get it. This channel's called Lightsaber Life. This weapon is my life. So you get to go to Savi's workshop. You take a look at all the possible parts and pieces among 4 different types of lightsabers that you can choose to put together. When it's your time, you go inside and you are in a really, really cool, well-lit room where you piece together your lightsaber with a little bit of lore in the background. Currently, there's 4 options. There's protection and defense, power and control. That's what I chose. I made up a character named Yoral, which is Leroy backwards. Leroy's my last name. Shut up, I'm cool. There's elemental nature, which is cool. It's got like rancor teeth and other bits and pieces you can find of nature and in the forest and other animals. And there's peace and justice, which is kind of your basic Jedi lightsaber. Guys, this one is more popular than any other experience, maybe minus Rise of the Resistance at Galaxy's Edge. If you're struggling on which lightsaber that you want to build, do what I did. I made up a character with a little bit of background. Yoral was a little bit like Balin's Skull, where he was a Jedi at one point, but it's not 100% clear why he had a fallout with the Order, but he's not really a bad guy either, so a little bit of a lone wolf. And so my lightsaber was a little bit darker than the average lightsaber. I've got bits and pieces of Anakin Skywalker on this one, Kylo Ren, and of course Darth Vader. The experience takes maybe about 20 minutes or so, probably a little bit less. It is $249.99. Yeah, I know. It's not cheap. But you get your own lightsaber and a great memory forever if you want to pony up that money. The big one with this, you can book this up to 60 days in advance, and I recommend that you do so. Set that reminder in your phone. If this is important to you, make sure you book it early. It is hard to get an appointment last moment for this. But Obi-Wan, what if I don't want to build my own lightsaber and I want a really cool character lightsaber? You, my friend, are in luck. Also, why wouldn't you want to do that? Dok-Ondar's Den of Antiquities is where you buy the coolest stuff at Galaxy's Edge, including character lightsabers from the movies and shows. And comics now. Seriously, why make the Ren? That's such a weird one. One thing you'll note about Galaxy's Edge, nothing is advertised with signs. You're supposed to be in-universe. So it's like you're on Batuu, this planet on the Outer Rim in Star Wars. I was a little nervous about that my first trip there because I had a lightsaber appointment really early and I could not find Savi's workshop. It doesn't say Savi's workshop. Thankfully, a cast member can point you in the right direction. Dok-Ondar's, for what it's worth, is directly viewing distance right across from Docking Bay 7, which is where you can eat, and the Millennium Falcon is in the background of that. So again, Galaxy's Edge is not very big, it's all walking distance, but just in case you need that peace of mind. In Dok-Ondar's, there's usually anywhere from 12 to 20 lightsabers on hand. They'll have some of the collector's editions. When Disney drops these really random 1 out of 4,000 kind of limited edition sets, you can get them in park. The lightsabers and merch are typically rotating. There's a few bits of merch, including all the Kyber crystals that are in there 24/7 and have been since Galaxy's Edge opened a few years ago, but usually they refresh it every few months with some pretty exciting collector's items. Dok-Ondar O'Connor's is my favorite place to shop when I'm there. I bought my Kylo Ren lightsaber and my Anakin Skywalker Padawan lightsaber from episode 2. Can't go wrong. If you've got the urge to build something and you don't want to spend $250 on a custom lightsaber, there's another experience that I initially didn't give enough credit to. You can walk into Droid Depot and make your own droid without a reservation. It's such a quick experience and not as in demand as some of the other experiences at Galaxy's Edge. Going to Droid Depot, you get to choose, much like your lightsaber, one of a few different types of droids that you want to craft from scratch. This includes your classic R2 units, you'll see droids like R5-D4, and of course the awesome BB units like BB-8. It's about a 10-minute experience, give or take. You can book this up to 60 days in advance. It's $119.99. I do recommend, if you are a planner, going ahead and putting this on the calendar. There's no reason not to book it. I think you can do that and kind of pencil out your day even more specifically, but you are not required to have a reservation anymore. All this building is making me hungry. Joby, you got that sit-down dining experience for me? Kinda, sorta. But first, when you're at Galaxy's Edge, you've got a few dining options. Ronto's Roasters and Docking Bay 7 are your two primary options. Ronto's Roasters has breakfast and some quick options for lunch, while Docking Bay 7 is your standard lunch and dinner fare. It's a little bit cafeteria style. No reservations for any of this. It's very quick. You can take a look at the menu. They have some really awesome Star Wars themed drinks as well. Speaking of awesome Star Wars beverages, this one is super important and you have to plan around it. Oga's Cantina is a timed experience and it is not for full course meals. All right, so I did not know this one my first trip to Galaxy's Edge. I booked a reservation around lunchtime for my wife and my daughter. And by the way, my wife was 7 months pregnant, so she really needed a break. There's a 45-minute time limit from the time the cast member brings you in to the restaurant. There's a good chance that you're gonna be standing at a table, and there's a good chance you're gonna be sharing it with other people not in your party, which is okay, just change your expectations. There's a slight shot that you can sit at the bar, which was my dream come true, and I got to do it on this second trip to Galaxy's Edge. You can book this 60 days out. I booked mine August 16th and went August 21st, no problem. There's a lot of time slots because it is so short. They have some insanely cool Star Wars drinks like, oh my gosh, how was my drink doing this? And some really awesome appetizers, like I was blown away at how good the food was. Just don't go in expecting to sit down and have a hamburger. You could also spend a lot of money here. Two of my very close friends went a few years ago and shut the cantina down, really, and their collective bill was over $400. It was 4 adults drinking beverages. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh my gosh, guys, cut back on the beverages.
You want to go home and rethink your life?
They actually didn't order all that much. It's Disney and it's Star Wars, so you're gonna spend a lot of money anywhere you go on beverages and food items. But you do have to experience it, so make sure you do it. Just plan to eat a meal somewhere else. And last but not least, you've heard that there's blue milk. You know all about the blue milk, but there's also green milk, even if you hate The Last Jedi, which is crazy. I'm serious, folks. In a few years, I do think people are gonna look back on this as a classic. You've got to go and try both. Everybody I know likes the blue milk better than the green. I do too. However, I don't think they're that different in quality. I think they're very close. Think of this almost like a smoothie. The blue milk has hints of pineapple, lime, watermelon, and dragon fruit, while the green has grapefruit, mandarin orange, and passion fruit. They're not cheap. They're about $8 or $9 a pop, I believe, but you have to get one of each. You just have to. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules, but it's a requirement. It's every Star Wars fan's dream to build their own lightsaber, step onto the famed Millennium Falcon, or simply sip on a blue milk. However, Disney has recently announced price hikes as high as 25%, with more likely on the way. So how can you make your Force dreams a reality? I just went to Galaxy's Edge and compiled a complete list of costs, plus some tips so you don't have to break the bank and drain all your credits. So the trip I'm referencing to Galaxy's Edge was in August 2025. For context, so you can compare what you and your family need, this trip was a 3-day trip and it was just myself and my daughter. So you might need a little bit more, you might need a little bit less, but this is a really good starting point. The other assumption is that you don't live in Florida and you have to fly there. In Orlando, Galaxy's Edge is a part of Disney's Hollywood Studios, so I had to buy a Hollywood ticket. In my case, there was a sale going on, so I bought a 3-day pass, even though I only needed 2 for what I was going to be doing in Disney, and it was still cheaper to do so. And in most cases, you get a discount when it's a child. We found a nice little Airbnb that was actually a part of a hotel. This was about 10 to 15 minutes away from the park. This was the cost for 3 nights. And then my round trip from JetBlue Airlines cost cost $396.92. Plus, we had to check bags, which cost $80. I know what you're thinking. We're just a few moments into this video and already it's stressful. Joby1, please give me some good news, please! Well, it's gotta get a little worse before it gets a little better, am I right? We had a Paisley car rental. Paisley is a subsidiary of JetBlue that cost just over $300 for our 3 days there. And ladies and gentlemen, we made it. We've made it to Florida. We've got the major expenses out of the way. Now, we're going to spend some more money in the most magical place on earth. I'm so sorry. I didn't intend for this video to be so stressful. I just wanted it to be informative. This would have helped me a few years ago. Folks, we are so close. We are almost inside the park where we can spend even more money. Let's start with our airport coffees and then $30 to park at Hollywood Studios. Once inside, all of the following was spread out throughout the course of our day. We were at the park from roughly 9 a.m. till about 5 or 6 p.m. We got beverages and an appetizer at Oga's Cantina, blue milk, and of course, you know I wasn't coming to Florida without getting my Star Wars Coca-Colas. Ugh, I got 2 out of the 3. It's not bad. And then of course we needed some more blue and green milk, lunch at Docking Bay 7, and as any self-appreciating adult would love, a cold brew coffee. Yo, what do you guys think of my mug? I freaking love it. Of course, I had to go back in line because then my daughter told me right after that she wanted blue popcorn, and I fooled you guys earlier. I'm sorry. I was being dishonest. I did, in fact, find the 3rd Coca-Cola Star Wars. I know. Not all at once, thanks. And before we exited the park, I definitely needed a Joffrey's iced coffee, and on the way back to the Airbnb, it was Burger King for a relatively cheap meal on the go. How are we feeling, folks? You still with me? Now let's get into some of the experiences that you can find at Galaxy's Edge, including some souvenirs that you have to bring home. At Droid Depot, you're able to build your own droid. It's remote controlled, it's pretty sweet. And before I forget, most of the experiences I'm about to talk about, I have full in-depth videos on. Go check those out if you want a deeper dive. I bought the Anakin Skywalker Padawan lightsaber, which is his lightsaber from Attack of the Clones. And of course, one lightsaber wasn't enough, so I went to Savi's workshop and built my own, which, funny enough, was also inspired by Anakin's Padawan lightsaber. We brought home Salacious Crumb, which is just a treat all on its own. Oh, and before I forget, there are 6 total Kyber crystals. We bought 5 out of the 6. You know, because Savi's comes with one of them. It makes sense. And then lastly, the only kind of accelerant, I would say, the only experience I think you really have to prepay for when it comes to rides is to get your Lightning Lane for Rise of the Resistance. This ride is completely worth the wait, but in buying this, you'll make sure that you get your spot on the ride. And you just want to make sure that you don't leave Florida without going on it. It's next level, seriously. All right, folks, hold your breath. The total cost of that trip was $2,384.76. But before I share 5 ways that I think you can make your money go much further here, I want to talk about those price hikes. I'm filming this in early October 2025, just a month and a half after my trip, and Disney has announced a bunch of price hikes across the board. Some as high as 25%. Things could change, but what you're looking at now is a little bit different than I was even looking at a few months ago. Here are some of the notable price differences based on things I mentioned in this video so far. For example, my 3-day pass, though it was on sale, wasn't a crazy sale, but it cost me just a little over $284. Now, that's gonna ring you closer to $530. That's a significant amount, especially if there's more than one of you. I'm not gonna mention all the things that I went through, like the beverages and food items, but just assume that there's a little bit of a hike on all those. Really, where this hits the hardest is some of the experiences I mentioned. That droid you built just went from $119.99 to $129.99. Not every legacy lightsaber is affected. However, my Anakin Padawan lightsaber went from $159.99 up to $199.99. One caveat there is DisneyStore.com often has discounts or 25% off deals, so just keep an eye out for those and wait for the best deal on that. Savi's Workshop was $249.99, and now it is $274.99. And the Kyber crystals, they were $17.99 a piece when I originally bought them, and now they are $24.99. So before I mentioned this trip cost me about $2,384. If I include those price hikes and assume everything else like the Airbnb and airplane stayed the same, the new cost would be $3,143 and change. So how do you get out in front of these? What are some ways that you can either budget for this trip or look for deals throughout the year? I've got you covered. And if there's a tip or trick that I'm missing, tell me in the comments below. I'd love to be able to share them with this audience. Tip number 1, don't buy right away. If you're able to, figure out when you'd like to go. hopefully that's at least 6 to 12 months in advance. That way you can kind of plan, you can budget, and you can even wait for a deal. Case in point, I knew that I was going to be coming in August of this year, so I started looking for deals in February. I mentioned that my JetBlue airfare was just under $400. For the longest time, it was close to $1,100. So what I did was I downloaded all the major airlines apps and just kept Googling prices as well. And what I found was eventually JetBlue broke through, and that was the day I booked my tickets. And I think that was in May. So I was price watching for a solid few months, knowing what my worst case scenario was, but then eventually pulling the trigger. When you go matters. So if your mind is totally made up on going around the holidays, for example, that's fine. Just know that you're gonna pay a premium for it. You can look at Disney's prices per day on their website right now, or even right in the app, and they'll tell you when the most expensive times are. Keep that in mind if you insist on going around those times. Number 3 sounds like it totally contradicts point number 1, but there's a caveat to it. If you're able to, book further out. Here's why that matters. For example, right now it's October 2025, and let's say you planned on going to Disney July of next year. Had you booked this trip a few weeks earlier, your Disney tickets would cost significantly less. Now, we can't control when sales come. We don't know what the market or the economy is going to look like. In most cases, if you can book earlier, you'll be better off by locking in those deals. Just be mindful of what the trade-off is. And tip number 4, write up a game plan. I can't even tell you how valuable this was. I knew exactly the things that I really wanted to see, the experiences I really wanted to be a part of, including building a lightsaber and building a droid, and I penciled in the rest of my experience around those. The other thing I did was I bought the lightning lane for Rise of the Resistance, and when I did, the best available time was at 3:55 on the day I went. I built out a schedule and I knew exactly when and where I wanted to be, with some room for variables, such as weather, or if a ride went long, or if we just needed to go somewhere else for a little bit. And last but not least, this is the most boring one, but the most crucial: budget. Plan a budget. So, like I just mentioned that I made a plan for this, it wasn't just for the sake of time on the schedule. It was so I knew exactly how much money I was going to need, minus the oddball meal or drink or souvenir in between. But a few ways you can do this. You can maximize how far your dollar goes by doing what I did in the first 4 tips of this. But if your cost is fixed, you can budget for it. It may sound daunting to say you have to save up $3,100 for a trip. That's not cheap. What you can do is break that down. Say you're going in 10 months, divide it out by 10. Smaller bite-sized amounts of money add up fast, and they don't sound nearly as daunting when you're trying to save, or maybe it even deters you from spending money on things that you really don't need at this time. And when you have the goal in mind that you need to hit a certain amount, you're much more likely to get there. Despite the cost, I love going to Galaxy's Edge. I'm not without my gripes about the place, but largely I have a ball every time I go. I spend $1 on Galaxy's Edge merchandise.
That's impossible!
The total might shock you.
You're wrong. How could you even say that?
In this video, I'm going to break down my last 2 trips to Batuu to reveal how much you need to budget if you want to fly home with some of the galaxy's finest merchandise. What saber did I get? What's the one thing I was told not to buy? And did I accomplish my mission of finding all of the limited edition Star Wars Cokes? Let's find out. First up is my first trip to Galaxy's Edge just 15 months ago. Of course, I had to go to Savi's workshop and build my very own lightsaber. I chose the power and control hilt style. I made up a fictional character based on Balin's skull, and the saber reminded me of parts Anakin Skywalker, Kylo Ren, and Darth Vader. And what kind of lightsaber connoisseur would I be if I didn't get one of every color kyber crystal? Disney, where's my orange one? My daughter also built her own lightsaber and happened to choose the power and control, though this emitter, she said, reminded her of Darth Maul. I'm just so proud. And of course, because we bought 2 lightsabers and all 6 colors for the kyber crystals, we had to buy the connector. This bad boy right here allows you to connect any 2 of Savi's workshop lightsabers. Before I reveal which character lightsaber I got from Dok-Ondar's, let's take a quick trip to a few other Disney parks. My wife and I went to Disney Springs and we had to get a double saber blend because, come on, it had Darth Maul on it. Who doesn't want Darth Maul coffee? And funny enough, before our trip, there were two things I really wanted to get. Over at a kiosk at Disney Springs, we found the Ahsoka Corksicle. It absolutely keeps your water and beverages cold for an extended period of time. I just happened to add the Lego Ahsoka myself. And around the time we went, it was the 25th anniversary of The Phantom Menace. I wanted this hoodie online, but I didn't buy it because I knew I was going to Disney and needed to save money. However, I was also worried it was going to be out of stock. Nevertheless, on our last day there, we went to Hollywood Studios and found this beautiful thing. So this is seriously my favorite hoodie ever. It is gorgeous. It's got the Darth Maul logo right there. We've got the 25th anniversary logo, Phantom Menace there. We've got some iconic looking artwork there with Obi-Wan and Darth Maul dueling. And the last thing I bought for my 2024 trip, I had a little bit of time to myself at Galaxy's Edge while my family went and did other things. So I went on the Rise of the Resistance. I couldn't decide which character lightsaber I wanted. I knew I wanted to walk away with one to really not just add to my collection, but also to really have as a take-home item to remember this trip by. So during the ride, it just hit me in the gut. Kylo Ren is the one that I should absolutely take home. The Rise of the Resistance is one of the most incredible rides I've ever experienced in my life. You have to do it. So after that, I grabbed some lunch at Docking Bay 7, and then I went to Dok-Ondar's and I bought the Kylo Ren lightsaber. Seriously, folks, this thing is gorgeous. This is one of the better Disney legacy hilts out there. Look at that detail with the carbon scoring. Absolutely awesome. Also love the red on the end there. Screen accurate. So if you add up all that merchandise there, it was $913.88. However, if you remove the Corksicle, the coffee blend, and the hoodie, then everything added up to $799.91. So not so bad, right? Under $800, so. On to 2025. One thing we scheduled an appointment for in 2024 but actually canceled was going to Droid Depot and building a droid. It seemed fun, but really, lightsabers obviously are my family's bread and butter. So we really wanted to make 2 custom sabers. Not in 2025. My daughter built the coolest looking BB unit droid I've ever seen.
You can't.
I'll drop you to it, Panini.
We took it for a spin out at the parks and it was a freaking blast. The built-in Bluetooth actually allows the droid to communicate with other droids and react to them around the park. Really, really cool. And then you know Joby Wan can't go a year without getting a character lightsaber. Now honestly, there was not a lot to choose from, but I had my mind on this saber for months. So it was anything but an impulse buy.
Credits will do fine.
No, they won't.
Credits will do fine.
Now before I reveal the character lightsaber that I bought, I will say on my wish list, I have always held the Anakin Skywalker lightsaber in such high esteem. You know, the original one that Luke has in A New Hope, Anakin builds in Episode 3, Rey has in Episode 7. This thing is the epitome of Star Wars lightsabers to me. I want a high-end, profy lightsaber from a really nice company like Theory Sabers or End Sabers, for example. So that one is off limits. I'm not gonna buy that hilt. However, the Anakin Skywalker Padawan lightsaber is not. I legitimately love this lightsaber, and again, I think Disney did an outstanding job with it. And before I reveal the item that I was told by my wife I was not allowed to bring home, I went on a mission. In case you missed it, Disney and Coca-Cola partnered up to create new Star Wars designs for their products this year. So they released 30 limited edition designs on their cans and bottles. 3 of those designs were exclusive to Disney parks, but not Galaxy's Edge. Let that sink in for a minute. So I went on a hunt, and I got all 3. The most expensive pop of my life. We got the Mandalorian and Grogu, the First Order Stormtrooper, and Chewbacca. All right, folks, here it is, the moment you've all been waiting for. What's up, Salacious? It's Salacious Crumb, the funny monkey guy from Return of the Jedi. It was worth it, right? It was worth the price tag, Salacious. $59.99. Seriously, it doesn't get any better than this. This is my favorite one coming up. So all in all, much more cost effective this time around. My total was $356.47. Makes a big difference when you're making your own lightsabers. But if you take away those Cokes, $339.97.
Yes, the negotiator.
The grand total between both trips and all the merch that you see behind me was $1,139.88. Now, sure, those are kind of crazy numbers. We were saving up for a while. We're not building our own lightsabers every trip. And even though we bought a really nice character lightsaber in Anakin's and built our own droid, this trip was still less than $400. In fact, it was closer to $300. So just budget wisely, make sure you get out in front of your next trip. I built a droid at Galaxy's Edge. So many colors, so many choices. Should I build an R2 or a BB unit? Should it be orange or purple or blue? Here's my experience building my very own droid at Droid Depot. Enjoy. Hi, how are you?
Good, and you?
Doing great.
Okay. Do you have any reservation?
Yes, under last name Leroy.
Okay. When you have for what?
Yes, we're just gonna go with the base pack.
Okay. So you're gonna be, you want the R or the C unit or the BB-8 unit?
BB-8?
BB-8?
Yeah, we're gonna go BB-8.
Okay.
Hello.
Right there, you can be the unit right here then for me.
All right.
So, you've got lots of cells to choose from, okay? Those parts are there to make the ball. The heads are this size, okay?
Okay.
Because they have to fit on one of these. It's the bases, red, white, black, or purple. And most importantly, you need one of those. Without that, it won't move down the floor. So that'll be your 4 pieces, okay?
Sounds good.
We'll try to help you out. And I'll put you 10 minutes.
Thank you so much. That's the color you want? Okay. What kind of head do you want? This one? Or this one? This one? Here, let's do... See, that's the head you want for that? I think you have to do... I think you have to do a little one. Like this size. So here's a red one. Do you want this one? This one? Okay, we're gonna put this back. And then I think we need... We'll fit on this. Like that. Okay, so we got that. See? So those are your options. So we went with that one, right? Yep. Yep. Yes.
Now that is everything we need.
Are you good on those choices? This is your droid?
Yeah.
Cool. Ready to build?
Okay, well,
Cool.
follow me.
Awesome.
Fun.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have you guys take everything out of your basket and I'll get that back.
Sounds good. Thank you. So cool.
Now right over here on the motor of the droid, there's gonna be a little switch.
Okay.
That's gonna be the droid on and off switch in case you want to shut them off later. I'm gonna have you guys choose 2 of these.
Okay.
These are gonna go on the motor, one is gonna go right over here, and one right over here.
Sounds good. Which ones do you want? Or you could do that. That seems like it's more on theme. Want that? Okay, and you want 2 of those? Okay, and then you're gonna do that.
Now over here, you're gonna see there's 2 red arrows. You're gonna twist it really hard until they line up together. Okay. So for the head of the droid, there are 2 holes right there. We are gonna use those for our antenna. Go ahead and pop those in. And then, oh, other way around.
Oh, that's so cool.
Now you're gonna take this head, and you're gonna place this head right on top of here. And then we're gonna flip it over. Right here at the bottom, there's 2 holes. to make sure the magnet stays locked in, we're gonna drill those two with our screwdriver. You wanna try it?
Sure.
Awesome. And the other one. Perfect.
Okay.
Now since it is a magnet, all you gotta do is take the head and place it right on the body.
Look at that.
Just like that. So that magnet, that's gonna be how the head and the body stay together. Now we're gonna go ahead and activate the droid, and we're gonna bring it to life.
Are you so excited?
Activating! That one. Activating! And then hit that red button.
That's so cool.
Droid is activated. Now you can go ahead and test the droid out here on the table.
Be gentle. That's so cool, huh? Very nice. Nope. Right off the edge. So close. Here.
Yeah.
How fun.
Now what it is, it is interactive. So as you guys walk around today, the droid is occasionally going to make sounds and shake by itself. It does that as it interacts with stuff around in the area, and it will even react when it's around other people's droids too.
Very cool.
I'm going to go ahead and get you guys a box and some instructions.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome. Caesar, thank you so much.
You're welcome, guys.
You have a great day.
You too.
Can you believe it? Awesome. Thank you so much.
What does it do? We're doing this in a minute. What can you do? Show me.
Show.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Genius. Ready? Is this Daddy's?
No, it's hers.
Yeah, are you sure?
No.
You've been playing when she's gone to bed.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Has it got a chip in it?
Yep. It's got a chip in it, and then they have all these accessories that we kind of passed on, but
Yeah. Well, of course, everything costs money.
for sure. I guess they interact with different droids around the park, which is kind of cool. I built a lightsaber at Galaxy's Edge. Which of the 4 styles of hilts did I choose, and which color did I go with? Here's my full experience at Savi's workshop. Enjoy!
I know it's a lot. To us, this is everything. A couple of quick things before we begin. If you have a flash, please make sure those are turned off. Also, please don't touch the chambers. For safety's sake, we don't want you to lose any fingers and nose. The tables are fine. But lastly, here. Some introductions. Starting off on this side, we have Teak and Elizabeth. Coming around, we have Scotty and Roman. Over here, we have Letty and Becky. And you may call me Kembe. We call ourselves the Gatherers. We search the galaxy for ancient relics in the forgotten places, abandoned outposts, ravaged planets. And what we find, we bring here. So where a stormtrooper might see worthless clutter, those who know see priceless history. And preserving our past may well ensure a future. How many of you have heard the legend of Luke Skywalker? Good. All the way around, he's looking it up right now. Don't worry, it's so fantastic. And you got another one. Well, now we hear there's another. A new Jedi. One who started off as a scrapper like us. Do you know her name? Yes. While Rey is leading us the spark of hope you've been waiting for, an awakening in the Force. And that's why the Force has brought you to us to take the next step of your journey. To build a lightsaber. The lightsaber has been wielded by some of our galaxy's greatest heroes and darkest enemies. It is elegant and enigmatic. Building a lightsaber is a work of art. The saber is a reflection of its builder, with the Force flowing between you. Today, you will feel that connection. But not if I keep talking. We start with the most important part of the lightsaber, the kyber crystal, able to focus the energy of the Force to magnify it. Some have called the kyber crystal the heart of the lightsaber. The color of the crystal reveals the color of the blade. You may recognize some of these from the great Jedi heroes of history. The blue crystal, wielded by the great master Obi-Wan Kenobi, his apprentice Anakin Skywalker, and now, Rey. Green, Qui-Gon Jinn, Ahsoka Tano, Master Yoda himself, and Luke Skywalker. The violet crystal, rare and beautiful, like the crystal wielded by Mace Windu. And red. It's been called the color of power, the crystal of Darth Maul, the Sange Ventress, Darth Vader, and now Kylo Ren. These are stories of the past. We're here for you. The future. It's time for you to choose your kyber crystal, the heart of your lightsaber. Builders, close your eyes. In your mind's eye, I want you to picture crystals of all the colors we've talked about. One of these shines brightest. Now open your eyes. Take your kyber crystal. The hilt of your lightsaber. This is the foundation of the blade. It's your center of control. In the box in front of you, you'll find the parts you selected outside. These have come from across the stars to be here for you right now. And we will lead you through the process of how to put them all together in a moment. Before we start building, let's talk about what's in the box. So in the order of the build, starting on the left, you'll find your chassis. On the far right are two matched pairs of activation plates. Columns 1 and 2 are your grips. Column 3 is emitters. And 4 are your pommel pads. Building a lightsaber is a personal journey, just as you chose your kyber crystal. Now you're going to choose each part that makes up your own unique saber. Look out at the gatherer in front of you. They will lead you through this. And so, my friends, let's build.
My name is Elizabeth, and I'll be helping you guys build today. Today we're separating the chassis. Notice you don't want to fire in the big hole. On the other side, there's going to be a grip. Making sure that the holy side is kind of pointed out on the button. You're going to stick your finger through and let it kind of spring down. Taking your kyber crystal. You're going to hold that spring down. You're going to wiggle it back and forth inside your chassis until you click it into place. Now this is the hardest part, so if you need any assistance, I'll be happy to help you out.
Perfect. Alright, next we're going to locate the red on the square. Find the red on the square.
We got slightly sleepy crystal. There we go.
Look on the
It's
bottom
okay,
of
that
the
should be
square.
that. I'm also a hit the smooth button.
Yes, do not mix and match number 5, okay? Red on red, blue on blue.
Now what we're going to do is making sure that the blue side is going up towards the top, because this is going to be the top of your lightsaber. You're going to move all the way down here and you're selecting a set of switches. On the inside of your switches, you're going to see that there is a color square on the inside. Those color squares are going to match the side of your chassis. So blue is going to go to blue, and then believe it or not, red is going to go to red. Clicking into place just like that. You're going to want to select one puppy's worth of switches.
Push it up for me. Perfect. Next we have a 1 and 2. 1 and 2, you can mix and match. Point a wider band towards the center. Push down and twist it to your right, okay? pick two out of the 4 combinations.
Excellent. May I test out your secret? Wonderful, my friend. Now once you've decided where our switches are going, we're going to do some maintenance on yours, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to be selecting any 2 of these that you want. The only rule is that the gray bar has to go towards the middle. So no matter which way it goes, it just has to go towards the middle.
Hold it upside down. There you go. So flip it to the bottom, okay? Everybody starts sliding up on the activation switch. So when Kevin for the right way, go down, slide that switch right, then you hear activate. Good job.
This is why we're training professionals. We deal in explosives and illegal goods. There we go. Okay.
And it was a sign of
You want to do that one?
I expect great things of you. Can you see the letter? It's an actual letter.
You just got to make sure that it agrees.
Oh, I gotcha.
You know, the force doesn't necessarily flow through everything. There we go. And then you want this piece on the top or the bottom? So when you slide it down, you're then going to press together and then twist, like you're kind of wringing out a towel. Okay?
I'm sure those are fun. I don't know. To be fair, I really don't know what it says. What color is your crystal?
You don't want to go too tight, otherwise you can choke that crystal. Okay, so make sure you use it nice and loose, but not tight.
Without turning to the dark side. It's very effective. And I think it makes sense because there's some places around you should be mad.
Excellent. Excellent. Then you're going to be selecting your off piece to go on the
Those are primarily across the tail.
Yeah, you're going to have on the top, like how you screw on a bottle. Perfect. Alright. Now my friend, is this your lightsaber? Is there any pieces you would want to change? Alright, now only trained professionals do this bit, okay? What do you think? Do you think you did a good job? That's good. My friend, I'm going to set it down right here. You built an absolutely phenomenal saber. When Kenbei says to activate, you're going to put yourself here, and you're going to slide up. When Kenbei says to deactivate, believe it or not, you're going to put yourself at the top and push it back down again. That is the step that most Padawans find the most difficult, okay? It's okay, I'm done.
This is a little Kylo Ren. Just like the grip, it reminds me of Darth Vader. That's cool. Put it like on your belt.
Take a moment, my friends. You've built the hilt of your lightsaber. Now's the dangerous part. Leave your saber at your station. Back up as far as you can, please. Right now, your gatherer is going to insert your hilt into the crystal stabilization chambers. We have to stabilize the crystal inside the saber for activation. This part is dangerous. If something is misaligned, you could have a very large expansion of energy in a very short amount of time, which is also called an explosion. So I'm going to send a test signal now. This control panel connects these chambers is... What's happening?
Much skill have you shown. Chosen for yourself, you have. Now, joined you will be. It is time.
Yes, Master Yoda. And it is indeed time to take that next step. We've reached the final part of the process. The bond between Builder and Saber is about to be forged. In a moment, I will ask each of you to come forward, to place your hand on the hilt of your lightsaber, and then on my signal, using your activation switch, not pulling, all together we will activate. Come forward. Put your hand on your switch. Activate. Good. Builders, raise your lightsabers. You have built a lightsaber, like the Jedi and Sith who came before you. And like them, you too can change the galaxy. Remember, it only takes a spark. Please, deactivate your sabers for now.
Complete your lightsaber is. Now, your destiny, you seek, your own path. May the Force be with you.
Thank you, Master Yoda. Builders, in your hands you hold remarkable power. And remarkable power should never be dropped on the ground. So, in a moment when we'll release you, you can receive your saber sheath from Elizabeth before you continue your journey into the outpost and beyond. Now our time together is at an end, but your journey is only beginning. It's time for you to make your mark on the galaxy. You're each as unique and extraordinary as the lightsaber you created. And maybe next time, we'll be telling your story. Raise your sabers. Activate. Tell the spire.
Till the spire.
Now, my friends, go forth. Receive your saber sheaths. And until we meet again, may the spires keep you.
Hold it. That's an amazing sound. That's great. One of the biggest attractions at Galaxy's Edge is the ability to choose and build your own lightsaber. I recently visited Orlando, and whether you're planning to go soon or just want to live vicariously, I'm going to cover everything you need to know, from the cost to the kyber crystal colors to the 4 different hilts you can choose from. Plus, I'll show you which hilt I went with. The Savi's Workshop experience at Disney is $249.99. You can try and walk up day of, but if you are planning a vacation, especially months in advance, I would absolutely go to Disney and book this before you get there, just to make sure that you've got your spot. It would be a shame if you wanted to do this, and then couldn't. As it stands now, you can book your experience up to 60 days before your visit. Included in the price pack is your selection of one of the 4 hilt types, a pin that commemorates your experience and tells the cast members which hilt you are building, as you can see right there, and this padded carrying case, which conveniently goes right over your shoulder. And with your experience, of course, you get a 31-inch standard blade. One major benefit of Disney lightsabers is that you can replace the blades. I don't recommend dueling with these blades, but if you just can't resist and you do and you break it, it's relatively cheap to replace them, and they're always going on sale. Speaking of blades, there is an outstanding custom blade on the market that you can get. I have one shipped to me. It's coming in the mail this week. I swear it's like Christmas. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. That basically multiplies how cool your legacy lightsaber is tenfold. Check out my review video in the near future. Another thing that I should note here is you can have one guest come with you into the lightsaber building experience at Savi's Workshop. The website recommends that your builder is ages 5 and up. My daughter built one when she was 5 and she totally enjoyed the experience. And even though it says just one guest is allowed in with the builder, the cast members on Batuu were gracious enough to allow my wife to join as well. What color kyber crystals are offered with your lightsaber at Savi's Workshop? As it stands now, you can get red, blue, and green, as well as purple. But of course, if you go to Dok-Ondar's afterwards, you can also purchase a yellow and a white crystal. Here's an epic display stand that I bought on Etsy. As you can see, there's room for all 6 kyber crystals there. Word to the wise, the yellow is not identical to the yellow that you see in the movie with Rey. It's got more of a highlighter type finish to it. I should note that what I just showed you is Generation 2 kyber crystals. Before that, there were basically a different set of lightsabers you could build at Savi's workshop, and we're gonna show you what one of those looks like in a moment, but they also had different kyber crystals. This is what the case looked like for those, and the Generation 2 kyber crystals work with things such as the holocrons that you can buy at Dok-Ondar's. So that's 6 kyber crystals all in all that you can customize your lightsaber with. Yeah, I know, they're missing the 7th. Disney, where is my orange kyber crystal? Somewhere Balin Skull is really upset right now. And never fear, if you don't purchase those while you're in the park, you can purchase them from DisneyStore.com, and I believe they run just under $20 a piece. All right, Josiah, but tell me about the hilts I can build at Savi's. We definitely saved the best for last. There are traditionally 4 types of hilts you can build at Savi's workshop at Galaxy's Edge. However, currently, there is a bonus 5th. Reclaimed and Reforged is making a comeback. Starting on October 12th, 2025, these will be a limited time experience and only while supplies last. These were available earlier this year, ran out of stock, and well, looks like we're getting them again. So if you missed it, now's your chance. And the official site reads, over the centuries, countless lightsabers fell into the hands of smugglers and bounty hunters. Remnants of ancient battles and abandoned scraps have been scavenged from the distant reaches of the galaxy's outer rim. Now, guests can repurpose them into elegant tools that symbolize balance in the Force. And for each hilt, I want to give you a little insight as to what I think might be the best color match and what character that we know of probably would have made this selection, if they were going to Batuu, of course. First of all, loving the pieces there that you can see kind of the end of the DL-44 Han Solo blaster. Like the color scheme on these two, a little bit different from what we've seen. With this hilt in particular, I think blue or green would be an absolute slam dunk, and I can totally see a Jedi such as Ezra Bridger or Sabine Wren using one of these hilts. It makes sense with their characters and how they kind of want to conceal that they're Jedi. All right, folks, and now we're going to get to the 4 pretty much permanent options that Savi's has. Again, these are all what I would equate to be V2 or Generation 2 Savi's workshop hilts. So these categories have kind of sort of existed for a few years now, but Disney refreshes the parts on them, and this is what we've got now. So the first type is the Peace and Justice hilt. The description reads, salvage scraps from fallen Jedi temples and crashed starships in these Republic-era designs honor the galaxy's former guardians. These lightsabers aren't off the charts in terms of how unique they are, but what I would say is maybe a Jedi like a Ki-Adi-Mundi or a Kit Fisto wielding them. You could also pitch me the argument that Qui-Gon Jinn might build something like this. For me, the color choices here would be blue or green. All right, folks, and now we're gonna get to my favorite design, the one that I went with when I went to Savi's workshop, Power and Control. You can check out my entire experience building that lightsaber from start to finish in the link below. The description for Power and Control reads, originally forged by Darkside warriors, this style features rumored remnants from the Sith homeworld and abandoned temples. Whew. That's intense. Special shout out to my buddy John Fick, a Generation 1 version of the hilt. Let's take a look at it while we got it. I gotta hand it to John. He's got a good eye for beauty. Got some good taste here. This lightsaber, I think, is super well balanced. Here, he's got the T-grips that you kind of see on like an Anakin Skywalker lightsaber. He's got his switch right here. This one very reminiscent of what you'd see on an Obi-Wan Kenobi or Luke Skywalker Return of the Jedi lightsaber. Up here, again, this hilt reminds me very much of Luke's Return of the Jedi saber, but up top is where things get a little bit different. This totally reminds me of what emitter you might see on a Darth Vader lightsaber. And you've got the D-ring up here. This one just moves slightly, but if you recall, that's how Darth Vader hangs his hilt, not down here at the pommel where most Jedi and Sith do. That is so perfectly balanced. Now, it is a big lightsaber and it is heavy. It's ironic to see 2 D-rings on it, but I kind of like it because it's not common at all. But this thing is an absolute beast. For what it's worth, John actually chose blue when he originally went, but he wanted to buy a second crystal, so he bought a purple. And ladies and gentlemen, here is the current version of the Power and Control, the one that I chose. I came up with a character because I wasn't sure how I wanted to attack this when I was originally planning my Disney trip. So my character is named Yorl, which is my last name, Leroy, backwards, and he's inspired heavily by Balin Skull. He lives in the era of the sequel trilogy, so maybe a little bit after episodes 7, 8, and 9, but he is a collector. So think of the collector from Guardians of the Galaxy in the MCU, kind of mixed with Balin's skull. Mine's got the D-ring right at the bottom here on the emitter. Some decent sound comes out of that, but I chose this because it reminded me of Darth Vader. This is pretty much what the pin looks like. Classic switch. This portion here reminded me so much of Kylo Ren. And then up top, we've got what I would equate to being the Anakin Skywalker Padawan emitter. So here I've clearly got some conflicted guys in Kylo Ren, Anakin, and Darth Vader. All characters who were either good or bad at different times. What's interesting is I currently have the purple crystal inside. So there's something messed up with one of the tags that I've got in there. But this is what the white looks like. I think they did a pretty good job with it. And here is the one that my daughter built. When we went, she had her mind made up on a different hilt and then pivoted last second when she saw the one that I did. So I'm kind of honored. Her inspiration was kind of the same thing. Her character would be my apprentice. She chose the Kylo Ren wired piece here, put it on the bottom. Same switch. She liked more of the classic grip up top here, but her emitter is chosen because she thought it reminded her of Darth Maul. Now these character selections will make sense seeing that these are what I based my lightsaber off of. I think Darth Maul and Kylo Ren might have chosen this lightsaber hilt, and of course the best colors for this are red and purple. And before we get to our last two hilt options, I want to just run through the kyber crystals with you real quick. What we'll do is we'll show each one lit up, and then I'm going to tell you exactly whose sound they're modeled after. They're all unique. It's really awesome. See, that's super interesting. I did not change the crystal, and look, it's back to purple. A little bit faulty, a little bit sus, but purple based after Mace Windu, and the sound is beautiful. It's my favorite sound of all the crystals. It's got a nice bass to it. That is a strong emission. So I go back and forth on this one. It's very similar to the Darth Maul lightsaber that I have from Disney. I actually think it leads a little bit closer to Darth Vader. Got that really long deactivation. This one, Luke Skywalker. So clean. And now I do have the white kyber crystal in there, so this is accurate. But this is Ahsoka Tano's sound, spot on. And I think this one is the Luke and Anakin, the Youngling Slayer 3000. And last but not least, the yellow. I mentioned before, it's not exactly correct. It's more of a highlighter feel. That J-Moo blade that I ordered and I'm gonna have for a full review, that corrects the yellow and makes it more screen accurate. So this one appropriately after the Temple Guards from the Clone Wars, if you remember. The third choice you have for hilts is Elemental Nature. I don't see this one picked too often, but it's kind of cool. This theme embodies the Force, an energy created by all living things, like Brylar trees, Carthusian whale bones, and Rancor teeth. What did you just call me? Honestly, the Rancor tooth on here is super cool. This one definitely is the most unique of all the hilts. I think a green or a yellow would go best with this color, and this character is gonna blow your mind. I don't know why, but I always come back to General Ram Koda.
Wow, you're a real Star Wars nerd, aren't you?
If you don't remember who that is or don't know who it is,
Who are you?
he is the Jedi that Starkiller sees early in the original Force Unleashed video game. I don't know, just seems like a guy floating around doing his thing, and that he would have to do this to survive, and this is the kind of hilt that he was able to put together. I don't know. I know I got a lot of Force Unleashed fans on this channel. Represent. And the last style that you can choose, which is the most popular, is protection and defense. Seriously, all my friends have this one. The description reads, hilt materials bear mysterious motifs and inscriptions that reconnect users with the ancient wellspring of the Force. So these are definitely more High Republic era type lightsabers. And the awesome thing is, all of my friends chose different parts. Shout out to Tom Colbert for letting me borrow this one. But D-ring on the bottom here, very good sound ventilation. High Republic logo switch there. Just very, very detailed. Definitely the most inscribed of all of them. And then we've got that emitter there, which is a little bit more square version of almost like the Anakin Skywalker one you would see. Big shout out to my buddy Derek Kramer for letting me borrow this one. We've got the different emitter up top here, kind of the same theme as the emitter as we go all the way down the saber. I call this the Teardrop or the Millennium Falcon activation. And you've got some old inscriptions there. Looks like a star map. A little bit sharp there, of course, the CoverTech belt clip as well. And last but certainly not least, my amazing friend Marissa Martinez let me borrow this one. Again, a different emitter. How about that? This is definitely, to me, the most High Republic of all of them. We've got the same activation as the first version that we looked at a minute ago. And yet again, another different pommel, also with a D-ring. And those are the 4 types of Savi's Workshop hilts that you can build in addition to the bonus Reclaimed and Reforged limited edition. Do me a favor, drop a comment below. Tell me which hilt you would make if you could, or which one you already did make. And leave a heart with the color of the Kyber crystal that you chose or would choose. All in all, it's a really cool experience. It is expensive, no doubt about it, but you'll have this lightsaber forever. I mean, typically speaking, you see them in the back of all of my videos, pinch hitting. We've got the Anakin Padawan and the Princess Leia, but it's a really special experience, and even though there's much better lightsabers out there on the market, this is an experience I'll never forget. Again, Disney, waiting on you for that orange. Don't make me go all Anakin on the younglings on you. I will. Today on Lightsaber Life, we're in Galaxy's Edge. Let's go check out some lightsabers. So going to Dok-Ondar's, I always love going here, one of my favorite stops at Galaxy's Edge. I was surprised to see kind of the thinnest selection of lightsabers I ever remember seeing in the case there. There was only 13 lightsabers in the case, and then outside of it, we had the Ahsoka white ones from Rebels and the Ahsoka series. Up first, we have the Luke Skywalker lightsaber from Return of the Jedi. I've got this lightsaber myself. Love it. I think it's actually pretty thin for a Galaxy's Edge lightsaber. Does the trick. And we've also got the Darth Vader lightsaber. This one has been high on my list. I want a Darth Vader lightsaber. Hopefully going to add one to my collection at some point here down the line. Above Darth Vader's lightsaber, we have the Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber from Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Now that lightsaber is very much like Luke Skywalker's. And above that, the very, very good looking Anakin Skywalker lightsaber from Episode 2. That's his Padawan lightsaber. Here we've got the Gunji lightsaber, which is shockingly one of my favorite Galaxy's Edge lightsabers. By the way, I reviewed some of these lightsabers. You can check out those reviews in the links in the description below. Now, they also had the Ren lightsaber. I don't know what to make of this lightsaber. I don't really love it. That is one from the comics. Basically, one of the lightsabers that was a part of the Knights of Ren. Came in a collector's edition, but here you see you can just grab it on its own. Another lightsaber that I was really pleasantly surprised with. Pretty big, however, spinnable is the Kanan Jarrus from Rebels. Up top, we see Kanan's apprentice, Ezra. So Ezra Bridger. This one was on sale for $99.99. Took everything in me not to pick it up. Next to Kanan, we have the Master Soul lightsaber. Now, that's not one that you will probably ever see me pick up, but never say never. I gotta say, the lightsaber on its own, I really actually don't mind. If I had to review an Acolyte lightsaber, that's going to be one that I do. Got the Kylo Ren lightsaber right there. I love that lightsaber. They did such a good job with the detail right around the hilt where the crossguard is. That is a hilt that I bought last year during my trip to Galaxy's Edge. I wasn't sure which character lightsaber I wanted, and getting off of Rise of Resistance, I had a gut feeling. Now at the bottom here, I thought this was really interesting. This is the Qui-Gon Jinn lightsaber, and this thing is an absolute beast if you've ever held it. However, I was really shocked. You can see kind of around the hilt, it's chipped. Now this is not intentional weathering. This is just a crappy version of this hilt. I don't know what Disney's doing here. I feel like if that was jewelry at any of the other Disney parks, that would not be allowed. We got the Ki-Adi Mundi lightsaber. Again, another lightsaber I don't really mind. I think they thought that was going to blow up after the Acolyte with his crazy appearance. And then two of my favorite lightsabers up top. We've got the Ahsoka Tano ones from the Clone Wars, which are just fantastic. That is a box set, so both of those come in there for $249.99. And then, like I said, they have the Ahsoka white lightsabers up there. Those are from her time in Rebels and the Clone Wars. Those are also outstanding lightsabers as far as legacy lightsabers go. So all in all, kind of underwhelming. I have a theory on this. I think that they're refreshing their brand a little bit. They're maybe selling off some of these current ones and the older ones. And I think they're working on a bit of a refresh when it comes to thinner hilts, maybe better LEDs when it comes to the blades. I have no inside knowledge on that. That's just my opinion. Be curious to see. Tell me, do you collect the legacy lightsabers or not? Have you started your collection yet? What is one that you would want to start with? Of those 14 lightsabers on the set, which one would be your choice? I went to Galaxy's Edge and Star Tours in Walt Disney World, Florida to check out all the Star Wars merch they had. You won't want to miss this one. Let's hop in. All right, so in Droid Depot, we've got the ID9. So if you played Star Wars Battlefront 2, the most recent edition, the one that came out in 2017, that is the droid from that. Love that campaign. Halloween-themed R2 unit there, pretty cool. In Droid Depot, no shortage of optimization options when it comes to your astromech. I truly love this experience. I had a blast with it. You can check out my full video of building a droid. We built a droid, a BB unit, and named it BB4. And a lot of times I've seen Disney will have these parts go on sale. So keep an eye out. Here, the regular BB-8. So this is basically what you could build, but it's just actually BB-8. Same price, I believe. Yep, $119.99. There's R2-D2. The iconic R2-D2. Oh, and a pit droid. Look at that. I'm telling you, Phantom Menace. It's made a huge comeback. The DJ from the Cantina. On the pit droid, not bad. $49.99. We got Chopper there. I wish you could build a BD-style droid like BD-1 in Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, the Cal Kestis buddy. That would be a droid I would love to build. Droid Depot has a lot of good merch options. There's so many built around the droids you can customize there. I wish they'd lean a little bit more into some of the well-established droids, but oh, look at that B2 Emo. We've got a pin there from Andor. A lot of kids-based merchandise here, which is awesome. You know, this one's really for the kiddos or the kids at heart, just like me. I love anything BB-8. I think they really nailed the aesthetic for him. He's such a lovable droid. Kind of a carrying case, maybe almost for like a tablet or a laptop there. That's pretty cool. This C-3PO helmet here, man, I want this thing. There's a nice shirt. I've seen a few people have this. I love that you can have it plated or without, just like Anakin had in The Phantom Menace, because he didn't finish him before heading off with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. But I think that's such a cool display piece. Something you'll probably see on my shelf at one point in the background of my videos. Lots of fun knickknacks here, again, for the kiddos. I think a lot of really good gifts here that you could get. Again, classic R2. We've got some Aurebesh right there on the t-shirt. Now, not for sale, but a huge actual lifelike K2 unit. I love K2SO, one of my favorite droids, possibly my favorite droid in Star Wars. And they're the 2-1B medical droid, like the one we see fixing Luke's hand in Empire Strikes Back, and earlier in the movie in the Bacta tank. I don't know how much these personality chips affect the droids. I'd love to hear from you if you've bought a different droid personality chip. Let me know in the comments below. We did not buy one. I don't know really how much it affects the droid that you build at Droid Depot. I don't imagine that it does much, but again, maybe I'm wrong on that. And there's just so much merch at Droid Depot here. I think if you were building out kind of a Star Wars room or a game room, there's a lot of merchandise that you could hang up in here. Cool little hoodie there, or sweatshirt rather. I am a huge sucker for mugs. You're going to see throughout the video here, I'm always grabbing the mugs and the beer glasses. or just drinking glasses in general. One might say I have too many. That one would be my wife. Adorable versions of all our favorite droids right there, or some of our favorite droids, rather. Droid Depot recently changed so that you don't need to have a reservation to go and build a droid. Kind of cool. Takes a little stress out. I love that R2 backpack. Something you definitely want to send the kids to school with, or buy for yourself, like I would. R2 fanny pack with the Rebel Alliance logo. Huge fan of that. My mind's changed on fanny packs over the years. I used to make fun of them, and now I have a Guardians of the Galaxy themed one from Epcot. Love to see how popular Chopper is from Star Wars Rebels, and now the Ahsoka series. There's our DJ from Oga's Cantina. I love that orange pocket on that shirt. I think that color palette is spot on. These are 3D metal model kits. They didn't have any on display that I know of, but kind of a cool concept, something to do. Love this pin set here. We've got a older Luke Skywalker. I'm not a pins collector. There's a universe where I am. Just like there's a universe where I collect Funkos. Oh, I love this tank top here. Give me bright colors, anything loud, and it's something I probably wouldn't mind buying. The aforementioned beer glass. I think it's fairly generic, but I could see myself having that. Almost like an ice cream glass below that. Another cool mug. Don't know how I feel about the R2 and R5 one there. It seems a little lopsided. Not sure I would love drinking out of that. This is awesome here. So, yep, we got our Grogu gummies there. A corkscrew. R2, it's got kind of a rose gold finish. Reminds me of Leia's lightsaber, which I absolutely love from Rise of Skywalker. Some plates here. I was nervous I was going to drop those. Heavy duty. Got an apron there. If you're feeling like getting in the kitchen, don't want to get dirty, but you want to rep one of your favorite droids, can't go wrong. BB-8 or R2-D2? What do you think? My sister and brother-in-law got me this glass when they went to Galaxy's Edge, I think in 2022 or 23. So I've had that for several years now. That reminds me of a Dunder Mifflin logo. I think it's the font in it. Just, yeah. Love the R2 breakdown on that shirt. There's so many variations of all these droids here on the different clothing. No shortage of ways to rep. Babu Frick. The droid is ready. What a character. I'm so curious to see what Anzelin is the species that Babu is, we are going to see in the upcoming movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu. The trailer just dropped. Look at this. We've got SM-33 from Skeleton Crew. I enjoyed Skeleton Crew. If we never get another one, that's fine. I think it's actually one of the best looking Star Wars live action series we've gotten from Disney so far, which is saying a lot, but I'd be down for another season of that as well. I definitely want that Jod Nanawa lightsaber. Some more heads for your droid that are interchangeable. Again, those go on sale from time to time. Keep an eye out. And now we venture over to First Order Cargo. I don't know what it was. My daughter was obsessed with those binoculars, carried them throughout the store, and ultimately put them back. But she wanted those. So one thing I'll say up front here, I love the design, basically the variation of the Stormtrooper mask from the First Order. I think it just adds a little bit of intensity there with kind of the eye marks, and I think it improves the design. Nice way to differentiate from the Imperial Stormtrooper, of course. Got a nice blanket there. Sleeveless Imperial logo. I don't love this backpack. I think that it almost looks cheap. There are some really awesome backpacks later in the video you'll see. Rise of the Resistance, you got a magnet there. That'd be a nice way to commemorate going on the ride, just going to Batuu here at Galaxy's Edge. I do like souvenirs if I'm going to use them. If it's a lightsaber, obviously, going to use that, going to display that. If it's an article of clothing, going to wear it into the ground. I only recently kind of ripped through a Disney Star Wars shirt that I got in 2013, which is wild. But it had Mickey and Minnie, and it was them dressed up as Luke and Leia from the speeder chase, the speeder bike chase on Endor. Death Star ornament there, can't go wrong, except for that price. I think you can do better than that. And that was breakable for sure. Got another First Order Stormtrooper helmet. Another look at one of our new big personality droids in SM-33. What do you say, AT-AT or AT-AT? I've always said AT-AT. Like this looks cheap to me too. I hate to say it's I think you can do better. It's a Stormtrooper outfit. There's so many high-end Star Wars cosplay and outfits out there that I think you can do better. Again, this helmet just looks so slick. Can see this on my shelf. If you've seen my lightsaber review videos, you see my Kylo Ren Black Series mask, which is actually from 2015, which is kind of wild now. So it's the original from Force Awakens. It's not the one that we're about to see here from Rise of Skywalker. Nice little pin set. Again, not a pin guy, but if you are, this is the place to be. For display only, absolutely beautiful. Couldn't help myself. Here we'll see the Darth Vader, the Black Series helmet. Now, I love the red eyes on that. That is accurate to Rogue One and A New Hope. I would love to put that next to my Kylo Ren mask here. Absolutely stunning. There's that Kylo Ren mask from Rise of Skywalker. Not the Black Series, but I've seen reviews on it, and people rave about it. That one there is closer to the mask that I have, which I think is just perfect. Got a Stormtrooper bust here. Rather pricey. Hope you brought your wallets, folks. A pewter-looking Stormtrooper. And as we get over to the last corner of the First Order shop, of course, I am handling a mug. Get your First Order's officer's hat there. A clear Stormtrooper mug. And some other drinking accessories. The Imperial Comlink, which is a Bluetooth speaker, I believe. It said Bluetooth communicator, but I believe it's mostly a speaker. Can't imagine the sound quality is great. On to my favorite place to shop in all of Galaxy's Edge. Dok-Ondar's Den of Antiquities. All my favorite stuff resides in this shop here. From, look at that Ahsoka outfit. And the headdress there from the show. I have such an affinity for Ahsoka. It's only grown over time, but she has become one of my favorite characters in the entire saga. See, there's costumes there for the younglings, as well as the adults. And then a lightsaber stand, which can house your Savi's Workshop lightsaber that you build, or one of your character lightsabers, one of the legacy lightsabers you might buy. No batteries in this one, but it does light up. I think you can do better for this price point. $59.99. I'm going to do a video at some point. I have seen and bought some incredible lightsaber custom accessories on Etsy. You can do some amazing, you can find some amazing stuff there. The lightsaber belt clip for the cover tech. Some amazing Ahsoka artwork right there from The Mandalorian. What an epic time that was. Speaking of Mandalorian, the Armorer is one of my subtle favorite characters in that show. Just so mysterious. I love the way she speaks. I love her presence. Love to find out more about her. Be great if we get her in the Mando and Grogu show. Oh, hey, there's me. Darth Maul shirt there. Big fan of that. I bought a hoodie, a Darth Maul hoodie, Phantom Menace 25th anniversary. that you can see in some of my other videos. And this is a replica of the Wayfinder holder that Kylo Ren force pushes in the beginning of Rise of Skywalker when he's looking for the Wayfinders to Exegol. Some Kyber crystal necklaces. I don't know that I'd ever get one of those myself. I don't believe in real life crystals, but for the sake of this in Star Wars, I think it's a kind of a fun concept. Love those head busts there. I could see myself getting a few of those. This mask, by the way, oh my goodness, $350, not cheap. That is something I could see myself splurging for in the future. I absolutely adore that mask. It's so iconic from Force Awakens. If you remember that first trailer, we've got some Kylo Ren outfits here. Would make for a really nice cosplay. I don't understand this one. It's not popular. It's the Ren helmet from the comics. Just like they made the Ren lightsaber. It is what it is, but I think they're better. Their time could be better spent creating other helmets or masks. I like that artwork of the stormtroopers there. It's kind of cool. A little bit different. Again, bright colors, big thing for me. You see the Camtono on the right-hand side? That's what holds the credits in shows like The Mandalorian. So when the Mando gets paid originally for bringing in Grogu to the Imperials, that's what he is paid in. Kind of neat. We've got some cheaper lightsabers in addition to the really expensive replicas that we'll get to in a second. And here's all our Kyber crystals and Jedi holocrons, as well as the Sith one shortly. Still waiting on that orange Kyber crystal. Come on, Disney, you've got the Shin and Balin lightsabers. Let's go. I want to buy one. I want to give you my money. Let's go. One of those might contain the black Kyber crystal, which I think would be epic if it would just actually bleed black. Like if it would, your lightsaber would glow black. Nice Princess Leia outfit, again, for anyone looking to dress up. Some more mugs. That mug right there, above the one I'm holding right now, it has the artwork of Dok-Ondar's as you enter. It's kind of like chiseled out on the wall there. Again, some different lightsabers. They kind of look cool. They've got the Padawan lightsabers, different colors, different designs. This I always found intriguing, the training remote with the Skywalker hilt. I've heard some good things about that. Some lightsaber creature pommels, which I believe you can connect to your Savi's workshop lightsaber that you custom built. I'm not 100% sure on that. And then some patches, some Jedi Kyber crystals, some of the later ones that you would see, and the connector. You could buy that and connect any two custom-built Savi's workshop lightsabers. Getting out into the Black Spire marketplace, we've got the Jewels of Bith, which has got a bunch of random shirts. It's all Batu and Black Spire themed here. Some shot glasses for the people who like to decorate with those, or perhaps use them. Nice picture frame there to commemorate your trip here. Got a bantha on that glass. I like that one a lot. Looks hand-carved almost. I will say a lot of merchandise in Galaxy's Edge is so generic. I know that's a little bit by design, but you could, in fact... I love Maul and Ahsoka, two of my favorites next to each other. But the merchandise, I feel like it's so generic you could wear some of it and people would have no idea that it's actually Star Wars. I know you're supposed to be in character, like this is supposed to be like a planet essentially in Star Wars that you're walking into, but you know, I've got some thoughts on that. I'm going to have a video within a few weeks or so talking about what I think some of the problems with Galaxy's Edge are, despite my love for it. I can't believe I didn't touch that mug. That's kind of crazy. Some of these are awesome. Toydarian Toymaker, like, got a plush Cad Bane there. So, like, Cad Bane really became a popular character, especially later in the Clone Wars. And then when he has his reappearance in Book of Boba. This reminded me of Stormy, which would be the Stormtrooper plush toy that Jyn Erso has as a kid in the beginning of Rogue One. Mace Windu. We got Nubs from Young Jedi Adventures. I don't know if you've seen the new Lego Star Wars series, Rebuild the Galaxy, but there's a Darth Nub. Kind of crazy. Got a wooden Mando there, kind of different. The famous T-16 that Luke plays with in A New Hope. Got some stuffed animals over here. A Bantha. Got some Ewoks below there. Can't go wrong with those cute, cuddly creatures. And who could forget Chewbacca? I mean, I think I would sleep better if I snuggled with that. Just saying. And a few other toys here. We've got the Land Speeder. Got a little Hondo Anaka. Hondo, of course, from the Clone Wars, and then a little bit later in Rebels, and then the star of the Smuggler's Run ride, Jar Jar Binks. Again, Phantom Menace made a comeback, folks. We're seeing the merch everywhere. The love for it has come around. Love this version of the Millennium Falcon, by the way. I think it's a good-looking collectible down there. The speeder you just saw above, a little bit of a deep dive from the speeder from Solo, a Star Wars story in the beginning of the movie. That is one thing I'll give credit to with the merch around Disney here. A lot of deep dives. Tic-Tac-Toe, I would love that set. I can't remember the cost. Chance Cubes, again, from Phantom Menace. Sabacc, I've got a Sabacc set, not from Galaxy's Edge, but it's a really fun game to play with your friends and family. You should also check out my video on how much I spent at Galaxy's Edge and what was the one item that I was told not to bring home by my wife. I'll give you a hint. It's in this clip here. Who doesn't love a Porg? Clearly made for Star Wars merchandise. Salacious Crumb. Oh my goodness. Oh, too amazing. And Nyx, I love that Nyx is here from the game Star Wars Outlaws. The game not so great, but Nyx an absolutely amazing companion. And who doesn't love a sleeping Loth cat? Oh my goodness gracious, my heart. There's actually you can watch on Disney a sleeping Loth cat. I can't remember if you just search it, but you can find it, and it's there's some music playing in the background. It's almost like a giant screensaver. Some Jedi robes. I run a lightsaber channel here. It makes sense that I would buy a Jedi robe at some point. Some amazing Rey cosplay items over here from both Force Awakens and then her outfit later from Rise of Skywalker. Didn't see Last Jedi, funny enough, where she wears the more gray garb. But if you're looking to dress up like one of your favorite Force wielders, this is one of the places that you should go. Later on in the video, I'm actually going to show you merchandise from Star Tours, which is the ride in Hollywood Studios in Disney. And Tatooine Traders is the name of the shop. I think pound for pound, they have better merchandise. Or at least merchandise that I would rather buy. Maybe minus the lightsabers. And of course, they don't have the Droid Depot custom experience for lightsabers. Galactic Star Cruiser, oh my gosh. What a flop that was. Can you believe they have some of that merchandise here? It's crazy. I love this design on this hoodie. That's V. Murati on the left, if you don't know her. She is from... Oh my gosh, I should know this. There is a book, basically, that talks all about Black Spire. And she's in it. And she can be seen walking around Galaxy's Edge. She's from the book. So really cool story there to see her interacting with characters like Rey and Poe and Finn. Rise of the Resistance shirt. So this right here is right outside when you exit the Rise of the Resistance ride. Got a nice carrying bag. I'm a big fan of that one. That one for the little girls. Nice gift to bring home for your daughter. Kind of generic looking bag. Reminds me almost like something Chewbacca might have with his bandolier. More Rey attire. Han Solo vest. Got the Resistance Transport, which is the ship that you are on for a good chunk of Rise of the Resistance. Like that hat. Again, more pins to choose from here for your collection. Got a magnetic Millennium Falcon there. I like this shirt design. Kind of cool. The brown is a little bit different. You got Chewie and 3PO and BB-8 on there. I came back to this so many times. I wish I could have a hoodie like that or wear it as a poncho. Like, that would be sick to wear around Disney. You know, it rains a lot. If you're going to wear a poncho, you might as well look like you came from Endor. I think that's really cool. I like all the helmets that you see here that are either Rebel Alliance or Resistance based. And a cool magnet to commemorate going on the ride. And turn it around the corner here. Got some more merchandise options. We're on point with the brown theme. Different shades. Definitely makes sense. A lot of Black Spire stuff here. Of course, there's a mug. The Millennium Falcon one's beautiful. I love this mug with Han and Chewie. The artwork is awesome. Definitely kind of more kid-themed, but you know what? Like I said, I'm a kid at heart. I would love to occupy that, and this Falcon mug is just beautiful. Got Black Spire Outpost right in the background. Again, nice. I always love bringing home stuff like that because when you're having your coffee or whatever, you look at it and you think about where you were. All right, now Star Tours, not a part of Galaxy's Edge, but in Hollywood Studios, in Walt Disney World, just this store, I think, has the best Star Wars merch in all of Disney. It is off the charts. Some of the deep dives here are just incredible. But look what we're looking at here. We got Luke from Mandalorian. We've got Annie and Obi. Just the best toys that really scream Star Wars fan to me. This one blew my mind. Oh my gosh, look at that deep dive on Luke from Shadows of the Empire. There's another deep dive here in a second. Oh, we've got our girl Marin from Jedi Survivor. Absolutely awesome. Anakin Skywalker from the Ahsoka series. Cassian Andor. Who doesn't love Andor? Sebulba. Kelnaka. We've got an Acolyte spotting. Absolutely crazy. Moff Gideon there. Love the old school style action figure box. If you want to get ready for Halloween, got some Star Wars calendars there. I like this little playset. Good mix of characters. A little bit different, a little bit cheaper figures. I know what you're thinking. Cheaper for $34.99. Yeah, believe it or not. This was super interesting to me, the journey of Anakin Skywalker. And down here, the deep dive, Heir to the Empire. Timothy Zahn. Like, I actually just started reading those books for the first time, the originals from the 90s. Super freaking cool to see that. At Jorth Sabaoth, too, if you know who I'm talking about. The Black Series Darth Vader helmet again. Got the Ahsoka white lightsabers from Rebels and the Ahsoka show. I got those recently over the summer. Those are incredible. I did a review on the Darksaber. Check that out. I did a comparison breakdown between Disney's and Hasbro's, the Black Series. Here's one of those lightsabers that most of us grew up with where you kind of flick out the blade. This was intriguing to me. A small model-size Anakin Skywalker lightsaber that you can build and replace the kyber crystals on. A Darth Vader one there as well. Got a Darth Maul lightsaber. I've got an original 1999 Phantom Menace packaged one. Cal Kestis, so happy that he is taken off in popularity. Again, the Kylo Ren Episode 9 mask. Not the Black Series. Got a Grogu pillow. Grogu saved Star Wars merchandise. Now, I know what you're thinking. Star Wars merchandise was never not printing money, but like he probably exponentially changed the game for them. Like That's a marketing play. Harrison Dula. Like, I'm not kidding. This store has a little of everything, and it is outstanding. Get our Wicket the Ewok plush there. Kind of a backpack. An R2-D2 dress for the kiddos. Fennec Shand. Like, are you kidding me? Sabine Wren, of course. I got the Sabine Wren Force Effects Elite Black Series lightsaber. Fennec Shand is one of my favorite characters in Mandalorian. I love her. I love that she got some time in Book of Boba Fett as well. If you didn't know, that's the original voice actress, Ming-Na Wen from Mulan. This is the way. Oh, that's a perfect shirt for a kid. Baby Yoda, a.k.a. Grogu, hat and onesie. Stormtrooper backpack. I think it's a little bit better than the Darth Vader one that we saw earlier. Behind the counter, we've got some autographed pictures that I'll get a little bit better shot later on in the video here. Got some more Grogu-themed merch. Got a really nice mug there. And some snacks, of course. We know Grogu likes his snacks. Got no shortage of options there. I believe this was a bubble wand. Glow wand, excuse me. Probably not cheap. And this is a car, so you can race that along the ground with your kids. There's that Death Star ornament that we saw earlier. A Darth Vader mug, and this hilt as a handle is awesome. I love in Darth Vader's helmet that it looks like space. You've got the specks there. Looks like stars. I am shocked I haven't bought this mug yet. Episode 3 poster. Oh my goodness, it's just a classic with the red handle. And the one below it too, this Darth Maul mug. On 2 trips now, on several occasions I've picked this up and put it down. If I make it to Disney again, I'm coming back with it. I'm telling you right now. Do you guys love the shoulder buddies that you can get at Disney? This is a Grogu shoulder buddy, so I call it shoulder buddy. It's a magnet. It goes on your shoulder, and you walk around with it all day. There's a baby Groot one that I would really, really love. And there's also one that I saw that was wild for fans of the movie The Emperor's New Groove. There was a Krunk Devil and Angel version that sat on your shoulder. We've got a Porg version of the shoulder buddy. I think they should have a Salacious one. There's a Kylo Ren version of that lightsaber that you can build with the different Kyber crystals. I always think the idea of a puzzle is awesome. I always want to do one, and I never end up doing them. There's the speeder from Star Tours. I still love Star Tours. This area is where you can build a plastic lightsaber. Really cool customization options. Love that Ahsoka and Mace and Rey are standing there in the poster. Star Wars and baseball have always gone together for me. I'm from Buffalo, New York, and the Buffalo Bisons are the AAA baseball team here, and every year they have a Star Wars night. We're on like year 13 or something crazy. And they have a custom jersey every single year that they wear on the field. And of course you can buy it too. And last year's, I think, was Ahsoka. It was beautiful. Can you imagine professional baseball? Speaking of Ahsoka, we've got a nice hoodie there. I would totally rock that. Old school Star Wars comic-y kind of shirt. If you imagine how the Star Wars comics might have looked a little bit right out of the gate in 1977. Again, give me all the color. I love this tank top. That would be amazing. Color again with an epic Chewbacca look on there. Again, Star Tours, the best merchandise. Definitely can knock the socks off of Galaxy's Edge in some cases. That's a beautiful Star Wars hoodie. Not a hoodie, I always say that. Just a crew neck sweatshirt. And of course, can't go a few inches without seeing Grogu, which is not a complaint, by the way. I'm surprised they don't have more Disney ears based around Star Wars, or those Disney hats. I don't see a ton of them. They had an R2-D2 one that's probably coming up here in a bit. That's a really nice backpack. There was an Ahsoka one that was the most beautiful Star Wars backpack I've ever seen. Speaking of ears, right there. But that backpack was in Hollywood Studios. Kind of wish I would have picked that up last year. Darth Vader hoodie. That is a hoodie, a zip up. Sometimes simplicity is the best. I love the red on this one, showing Darth Vader, and the different kind of drawings of Darth Vader for the concept art before the movie happened. Some Darth Vader ears there. That's a much better Darth Vader backpack. By the way, of course, Josiah here, who loves lightsabers. These little lightsabers intrigue me so much. Oh, my goodness. So, of course, naturally, I have to light them all up. By the way, I'm soaked, not from sweat, but because it was raining outside. So I just felt like I needed to say that. But Darth Vader, we got Mace Windu. The Ahsoka ones, you get both white lightsabers above, which is cool. These are awesome keychains. These are ones that I would legitimately buy. There's a Yoda lightsaber. And then the Skywalker saber here. It says Rey on it. I don't inherently have a problem with that. I just think it was funny that you don't say that this is the Anakin Skywalker lightsaber. Some people say it's Luke's. It's fine. Speaking of Luke, here's his Return of the Jedi green lightsaber. I'd love to see a Darth Maul version of that, or maybe a Count Dooku. Some of that artwork I was mentioning before, and some of the autographs from the celebrities that you can buy. Some really awesome pins, Ahsoka and Rey, two of my favorites in one set there. Thought this was a really nice keychain. Had some awesome character design on it. You got General Grievous. You don't see a lot of that. There was Darth Maul on there. C-3PO with the red eyes. Just super cool. By the way, I love every time every one of you in the chat ever comment on any of my videos and say, General Kenobi. Like, I love it. Or when you say hello there. I love, by the way, that Ahsoka magic band. If I was more of a regular... Oh, that's not Ahsoka. I'm sorry. There's an Ahsoka one that looks just like that. This here is this was brand new this year. This is animation Boba Fett. But anyway, on magic bands, if I was a more frequent Disney visitor, I would absolutely buy one. Like, I have a BB-8 one from 2017, which is awesome. I don't use it, but I do still have it. I just can't bring in myself to throw it away. Very pretty Ahsoka pin there. Got some earrings. Could see you guys rocking these, especially those Yoda dangling ones. Got some Grogu jewelry, of course. Again, the 3PO helmet that I definitely want to buy one day. Would love that next to my Kylo. I almost bought this last year. These are drinking canisters. They do light up. Got Anakin and Darth Vader. $40. They're a little bit bulky. Love these mugs. I would definitely get these with my wife. I think that would be fun. Just having our coffee, being all cheesy. Star Wars, I love you. I know. This Wampa, can you believe the arm comes off? Oh my gosh, it just killed me. Poor guy. And this is in Hollywood Studios. When you walk in, this store is to the left-hand side. I'm not sure what it's called, but they had a lot of 45th anniversary Empire Strikes Back merch. And this coat here with the crawl is unreal. I would absolutely rock this jacket. The artwork on the front from the 97 special edition, like, let's go. An absolutely beautiful bomber jacket. I think it's worth every penny of that $79.99. This Darth Maul hat is so popular. Like, truly popular. This store is to the right when you walk into Hollywood Studios. My favorite scene from Last Jedi right there. You got Rey and BB-8, which is just totally fantastic. And this is not Star Wars, but Baby Groot, let's go. But anyway, folks, thanks so much for watching. YouTube thinks you'd like that video right there. Why don't you check it out?